ethnic clients and your reactions to the headline.
If you look at it, you know that the people are agitated from one place to another. But the result has been announced. If anybody has any problem, let that person go to court.
My own is that the fake promise that he used to deceive Nigerians. This time around, we are waiting for him.
Do you want to keep tabs with trending national, state, or local issues? Then listen to Open Parliament every weekday on Family Love 99.9 FM. Omahia. Open Parliament, when the issues are burning.
Well, I told you that the man is confused. The man doesn't know a direction. He failed because he was unprepared. You cannot get something from nothing. So they are just trying to find someone to blame for their failure. So they failed and failed mostly.
Well, a very good morning to you, and many thanks for joining us this morning on Open Parliament, the midweek edition, live on the frequency. A beautiful Wednesday morning, the 24th day in the month of April 2024. My name is Mr. C. Well, Open Parliament is where we get to bring you trending and very big stories buzzing. We're going to do a perspective or two on those stories and let you react on the flip side. Definitely what we will do this Wednesday morning. Well, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission have been playing hide and seek game in the last few weeks as against the former governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello. Well, on Wednesday, if you've been keeping tabs, last week the commission invaded the Abuja residence of Yahaya Bello to arrest him to no avail. But it later emerged that the former Kogi State Governor may have been hiding in the Kogi State Government House. This under the immunity of Governor Ahmed Ododo, his successor. Well, the EFCC, through a federal high court Maytama, preferred a 19-count charge against Yahaya Bello, along with Ali Bello, Dauda Suleiman, and Abdul Salam Hudo, bordering on money laundering, totaling a whopping 80.2 billion naira. What do you make of the actions of the former governor of Kogi State and maybe the actions of the commission, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission? In Abia, a forensic audit conducted by an audit firm has revealed how the immediate past government of Abia State and Okezie Ikpeazu approved funds to contractors for the construction of non-existent state-owned airport and other infrastructure. Well, the Abia State Governor, Dr. Otti, made the revelation during a presentation at the Johns Hopkins University School of Advanced International Studies, Washington, D.C., United States. Well, the governor spoke on the theme, Dynamics of State Governance, Economic Transition, and the Challenges of Seeking to Establish a New Order amidst multiple constraints and pushbacks. Well, this and more we will talk about this morning on the program. A guest, a very regular but very distinguished, a fellow of ethical leadership from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, a recipient of ZIX Award on Innovation and Creativity, a pioneer inductee, National Integrity Hall of Fame, a former Argonne Secretary General, a fellow of Chartered Institute of Forensics and Fraud Investigators of Nigeria, Interpol Systems Consultant and security expert, Sir Chikwe Udensi. Good morning to you, sir. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Mr. C. Good morning, team listeners.
Oh, well, definitely we should have been keeping tabs, or haven't you, with back and forth between the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and the former governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello. Or the EFCC has been on the trail of the former governor of Kogi State and recently did approach a federal high court in Maitama, preferring about 19-count charge against the former governor and 3 others. What do you make of what's been going on? He's still in hiding, the former governor.
Yes, he's in hiding. You will recall that Interpol is one of those that have been asked to flag him. There is a Bello after him. I don't know if you know what I mean by Bello. In Bello, we mean be on the lookout. Whenever there's a Bello against anybody in security circles, it means that you should be on the lookout for him. It's not only him, not only Interpol, I'm sorry, but the police, the immigration, the office of the NSA, even the civil defense. Everybody's asked to be on the lookout for him. Yes, we were told that Bello embezzled over 80 billion, amongst other monies. There's not only 80 billion naira. In fact, this is one of the reasons why we keep saying that it is wrong, extremely wrong, to allow somebody to have complete immunity against criminal and civil charges until he leaves office. For 8 years, he has the freedom of whatever he wants to do with the funds of the state. The only time you can accuse him is when he leaves office. It's dangerous because he has the freedom of 8 years to even finish whatever he wants to do, that you may even find it difficult to effectively investigate him. But if there is continuous evaluation, continuous investigation, continuous putting tab on the accounts of the state, like we keep saying, this will not be happening. But let me give you very clearly, Mr. C, where we are concerned. You recall that Governor Bello had gone to a Kogi High Court and obtained an order of court. He obtained an order of court that he should not be investigated, he should not be arrested, he should not be invited, pending the determination of the case that he has filed in court. That order has been appealed against by EFCC. The Economic and Financial Crime Commission, they have appealed against the order. While the appeal is pending, EFCC have gone to a federal high court to obtain an order to arrest Bello. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yes.
While the pendency of the appeal is treated, while it is existing, you have gone to a federal high court to obtain another order to arrest him. Mr. C, I'm not a fan of Yahaya Bello. I'm one of those who have always accused him of all kinds of things he has done in Kogi State. He is called a white lion in Kogi. He has a patent of humiliating anybody who comes across to him. He has no respect for rule of law. So I'm not his fan. I don't even advocate for him. But I'm a fan for what is right and not what I like. Here, the government is doing what they like and not what is right. What is right in this circumstance is that two courts are courts of concurrent authority, both the Kogi High Court and the Federal High Court. They have the same level of jurisdiction. None can be an appellant court over the other. A Kogi High Court cannot give an order, and a Federal High Court gives a different order. And you obey the one for Federal High Court, leaving the one for Kogi High Court. It's strong. That is what we're saying. We must have to do these things properly, whether you're in government or out of government. The chairman of the EFCC, I listened to him very carefully. He said that out of respect, he personally called Bello. And he said out of respect. If you ask me in security circles, he's not the IPO. He's not the person personally investigating him. If he calls him, it cannot be out of respect. It is out of interest. It is only out of interest that he would have called him. And look, it is no more an EFCC matter. All federal agencies are involved. Even the NSA, the police, civil defense, immigration, everybody is involved. Is it prosecution or persecution? We don't seem to understand. I have more sympathy for the young man than blame. Let him remain innocent until he's proven guilty. That is what the law says. And once you commence the process of media trial, one is a bit skeptical about the intent and purpose. So we are a bit concerned about the purpose, and we are, to a large extent, understanding the need for the young man to run. Maybe he's running for his life, not for the prosecution for which he's charged on.
Well, but is it fair to say so? Because yes, arguments that, hey, I mean, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, they've always had this knack for media trial, just like you rightly put it. But some have also argued, I mean, if you've got nothing to hide, why not turn yourself in?
Mr. C, we're talking about justice, not just turning in. If there's a subsisting order from a Kogi High Court, and you leave that order, go to a Federal High Court to obtain that order, somebody should be suspicious of some motives. I don't know if you understand where I'm coming from. And moreover, when you have already appealed also, you have appealed the order of the Kogi High Court. Now, what is the hurry? What is the hurry to get him? After all, you have waited for 8 years. This crime didn't happen yesterday. I listened very carefully to Lu, the chairman of EFCC. He said he inherited that the matter. He inherited the case file. So the case file has been existing before he became chairman. There's no hurry. Take your time. Let us go through a normal court process. After the normal court process, which I don't like though, I've always insisted that when a governor is in there, if he commits crime that is of criminal nature, if he commits anything that is of criminal nature, he should be found culpable. The country that we're emulating this from, America, even the presidents don't have that immunity. So where did we get this immunity from? That somebody can commit any kind of crime, he can shoot anybody, he can do anything, he can, in fact, take anybody's property with impunity, and he cannot be charged for it, he cannot be held liable for it until he leaves office. I don't understand where that law is from. If we don't amend some of these laws, very evil laws, we cannot grow in this country. And it is these evil laws that is creating so much problem, enormous problem in the society. Let EFCC take a proper course of justice. Go and appeal the order of Kogi High Court. Let us see what the appeal says. After the appeal, then we can proceed with your investigation. Nobody's running away. He's a young man. He's not dying tomorrow. If we had not put in place a horrible law that makes it impossible for him to be tried before while he's in office, this wouldn't have happened. So since we have this problem on ground, we should take the process of the law. Let us not be in a hurry to do injustice to anybody. But we don't appropriately.
Yeah, I'd like to stay with the immunity of governors because, yes, severally you've spoken about this. You've not been in sync. You've got absolutely no inclination with the practice as it currently is in Nigeria. It's a constitutional provision, immunity for the governors. I mean, what do you make of the action of the Kogi State Governor, Usman Ododo, getting to shield his predecessor from arrest by the EFCC, and that hiding under his immunity? That has been faulted in some quarters.
Yes, I saw one of the policemen who joined the team to go and arrest Yahaya Bello. So I quickly called him because I recognized him. And I said, "Oh, why did you all allow Yahaya Bello to go away in Dodo's car?" He simply said, "Dodo has immunity. We cannot go into Dodo's car. We cannot stop Dodo. He's a governor, he has immunity." That is what I'm saying, Mr. C. So that immunity restrains the proper process of justice. Bello ought to be arrested, just like everybody else. If you ask me, he ought to be arrested. But I am also equally concerned with the process. The process is very wrong. The process of going to arrest him when there's a subsisting order for which you have appealed against is wrong. Immunity for governors is dangerous. It negates the proper sense of democracy. It negates the proper sense of justice. Because if you continue to say that a man, during the pendency of his governorship, cannot be charged for any crime whatsoever. In fact, you cannot even commence any investigation. I hope you know, Mr. C. The Supreme Court said that investigation is not an end by itself, that investigation is a process of prosecution. So if you cannot prosecute, why investigate? That is what Supreme Court says. So you cannot even investigate a sitting governor. You can't investigate the deputy. You cannot investigate the president. You cannot investigate the vice president. It is dangerous, extremely dangerous for our democracy.
Yeah, I mean, those who are sympathetic with the immunity clause in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria might want to disagree with you there. I mean, the argument that, hey, come on, if you do not give immunity to these governors, you might expose them to a multiplicity of litigations during the pendency of their governorship, as it were. Is that tenable, that argument?
What is wrong with multiplicity of court cases?
Which might be distracting to the governors.
Let me tell you where the lacuna is there. There's a positive lacuna to it. The Attorney General can stop any prosecution any given time. So the Attorney General has been given the prerogative to identify if that case is worth it, if it is what it ought to be. So even if there is some multiplicity of cases against the governor, the Attorney General can check and say, no, don't continue. When I mean Attorney General, I don't mean just Attorney General of the Federation. Attorney General of the state can stop prosecution, whether criminal or civil, of any matter in the state. So that provision is a beautiful provision. So to say that you cannot charge the governor that he has absolute immunity is where we have problem, especially when we have a buffer zone. What I mean by buffer zone is when you have given the Attorney General the constitutional powers to stop any prosecution, any court matter, whether criminal or civil. The Attorney General can do that. So the Attorney General ought to be allowed to make that judgment. Is it right? If it is not right, then it is dropped. If it is right, if the governor at any point of his being in office commits any crime, he should be prosecuted. That is what is obtained around the world in civilized societies. It also should be obtained in Nigeria.
Well, it's 21 minutes gone past 9. Open Parliament still. Away from what's happening in Kogi State, particularly with the former governor, we'll look at political alliances now. Yes, the 2023 general elections may have come and gone. Just as they say, politicians would always think about the next election. Mazi Okechukwu Siguzoro, he's a factional secretary general of Haneze Ndibo Worldwide. Now, he has urged the Northern elders to revert to the days of alliance between the North and the Eastern region of the country, where he said the Northern leaders should reflect on the historical missteps of their region from 1999 to 2023. Now, this is coming on the heels of the recent declaration by the leadership of the Northern Elders Forum, expressing regret over the choice to support President Bola Tinubu in the 2023 presidential election. I mean, what do you make of this call for an alliance with the North, that the North and the East, the eastern part of the country?
Yes, it has always been the tradition. North-East alliance has always been our political tradition.
Okay, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, very well. So, you want to take it away still?
Yes. As I was saying before I was cut off by the network, there has always been that alliance between the North and the East. And I have just been invited several times, about 4 times, to a meeting of merger between NNPP, the Labour Party, and the PDP. You know very clearly that the North is not happy with what is happening in the country today. Not only the North, if you look at the various economic situations in the country, nobody's happy. But particularly the North, because the North has so much believed in putting all their eggs in the basket of governance. Government is where all the eggs of the North is. But those of us in the Southeast, we're all hustlers in the area of commerce. We do our businesses. So whether something comes from government or not, our businesses are still functioning. If we are selling, you must buy. If we are in the area of provisions, you must eat. If you are selling foodstuffs, you must eat. If you are selling building materials, there has to be construction going on. So if you check the problem we have today, the economic problem we have today, it is very clear that the North are those suffering more. So if they are the ones suffering more, they should be the ones complaining more. And that is what we see today. The Northern elders met and they lamented their losses in terms of government appointments. They lamented their losses in terms of the economic hardship that is so much in the north right now. In fact, there is a saying that poverty right now resides in the north. So you understand what I mean by that, Mr. C? That they are the ones suffering. So they are the ones suffering. They must be the ones complaining more than the rest of us. So now there is a very strong drive. There is a very strong motive from the north to continue their natural alliance with the southeast. And incidentally, I have been invited to take part in seeing how we can effectively continue with the alliance between the north and the east. So I'm going to play a little bit part there. I have not contributed openly, so I'm going to play my little part in the alliance and the merger. But it appears there's going to be a very big problem in the merger procedures.
Which is
everybody wants. Sorry.
Yes. What's the problem?
Yes. Everybody wants to hold on to number one position. The three groups that are wanting to merge, Labour Party, NMPP, PDP, the first discussions that were held, everybody appears to insist that their leader should be the leader of the team. You can't go to a negotiation with a mindset like that. You must have to have an open mind. If you go to negotiation and have a complete mindset that it's either you or the highway, then you have a problem. So that is where I see that we might have some hiccups, because every leader wants to remain in his position, expecting the other to step down for him. That will not happen. You must have to go to merger with open mind. And if you don't do that, there will be problems on the way.
But would it be the best, that merger, particularly the advocacy for the merger between the north and the east? Would it be the best for the eastern part of the country, the region that has cried marginalization over the past couple of years?
Well, you know, Mr. C, that if you want to have a hybrid, there must have to be a crossbreed. If you don't match, you don't get something bigger. You see the effort of the Southwest for the presidency. Those efforts never materialized until they had to come into a complete merger with the North. That was the only time the effort succeeded. If you continue being on your own, expecting that everybody will rally around you on your own, it's not going to work. Merger is the best thing. A hybrid of, a crossbreed of ideas. It will create a hybrid. So if you do not crossbreed, you cannot get a hybrid. So I believe that mergers are very important, especially to the extent to which it is intended for the benefit of the country. That is what I believe. And that is what has always worked around the world.
We'll be going for a break in a bit, but a forensic audit conducted by an audit firm has revealed that the immediate past government of Abia State, led by Okezie Ikpeazu, approved funds to contractors for the construction of non-existent state-owned airport and other infrastructure. Well, the Abia State Governor, Dr. Alex Otti, he made the revelation during a presentation at the Johns Hopkins University School of Advanced International Studies, Washington, D.C., United States. The theme he spoke on was dynamics of state governance, economic transition, and the challenges of seeking to establish a new order amidst multiple constraints and pushbacks. Well, that was the theme the governor spoke on. But in case you missed out, here's the governor.
So talking about corruption, I had set up a forensic audit as soon as I took over last year in Abia. And so that there wouldn't be any argument, I called in one of the top 3 audit firms in the world. And not too long ago, they turned in their report. And some of the things in the report are frightening. So, 9.3 billion naira was paid to 7 contractors for contracts that were not executed at all up till today. Another 15.9 billion naira, almost 16 billion, was paid to 63 contractors with no supporting documents anywhere in the state. Another 12 billion naira was paid to 2 contractors for contracts that do not exist. Out of this figure, 10 billion naira was on September 25, 2020. And that is almost 4 years. Paid to some contractor for the construction of Abia State Airport. We have spent time trying to locate the airport. Up till now, we have failed. In fact, one of my aides told me the other day that maybe we are using native intelligence to look for the airport, that we should seek artificial intelligence.
Well, the words of the governor, Dr. Alex Otti there, faraway United States of America. Well, the PDP, the main opposition party in the state, has called on the governor to publish the said report. And of course, former commissioner in the state, Chief John Okezie Ikpeazu, said, hey, well, I was part of a state executive council meeting where that approval was made for 10 billion naira at the said airport. But for the intervention of traditional rulers, the governor accepted their plea that monies marked for the airport be redeployed for road projects. We'll talk about that. Stay with us. It's Open Parliament.
A clean environment is a healthy environment. Be that change. Do not litter our roads. Always bag your waste. Always remember, cleanliness is next to godliness.
Maka Wisike Nidu Obodocha. Keep Abia clean and green.
Remember, monthly sanitation comes up every last Saturday of the month. This message is powered by Abia State Orientation Agency.
Ozia. Sinaka Abia State Orientation Agency na Biarunu.
Well, thanks for staying tuned. Midweek edition, Open Parliament. Our guest, Interpol Systems Consultant and security expert, Chikwe Udensi. My name is Mr. C. Let's do Abia right now, where, just like you heard the governor there, speaking faraway United States of America on the theme, dynamics of state governance, economic transition, and the new challenges of seeking to establish a new order amidst multiple constraints and pushbacks, amid revelations about contracts approved by the previous administration, construction non-existent in the state. One of it mentioned state-owned airport. What do you make of this? I'm sure you're following keenly, or aren't you?
Of course, I am, Mr. C. Incidentally, some of the organizers of the tour of the governor in America are very close to me, and they are known to me. So what I asked for was, I asked for the full record of the governors, of the whole proceedings, not just what governor says. what were the things that happened before the governor was called out. But I realized that there was not much that happened outside the processes of bringing him to the pulpit to talk, to the podium, to talk. Mr. C, I am a bit disappointed. I'm a bit disappointed that a matter like this is being treated with trivial attitudes. I'm concerned that 107 billion is alleged to have been embezzled. And we're talking about some contractor, we're talking about using natives to go and locate airports. We must get serious. 107 billion? By now, Mr. C, we must have commenced a complete investigation. All those who are responsible for such a very heinous arrangement, they should be in detention if the proper process is taken. What do I mean by proper process? Mr. C, the crime is said to have been committed in Abia State. The suspects are all in Abia State. The investigation was done in Abia State. Even the investigators did the investigation in Abia State. But then the announcement of the result of the investigation is done in the United States of America. In security circles, once we notice things like that, we get apprehensive. We begin to wonder, what is the purpose of it all? Mr. C, you will recall that when the governor came in, he indicated he was going to investigate the regimes that was before him. So we were expecting investigation of 1999 to 2023. But he chose only the Ikpeazu government to investigate. You may recall that on Open Parliament, I had criticized it. I was uncomfortable with it. Because when you tend to specify your level of interest, people might become suspicious of what actually your interest is. And also, given that everybody must remain innocent until it's proven guilty, we cannot insist by any stretch of imagination that anybody is a criminal. Let's look at what is happening in the social media right now. We have the trial is going on social media when it ought not to be. And in investigation, whenever we find out that either any of the law enforcement agencies, police, EFCC, or anybody, when they start media trial, they have no case. Go and check it, check records. Once you leave the court where you ought to take your matter to, and you go to the media, you are playing to the gallery. And people like us cannot take you serious. Because nothing can be more evil than an accusation that denies the accused the right of defense. If anybody is accused, he must, in all honesty and purpose, be allowed to defend himself before you come out and call him evil. Mr. C, let us also look at the things that has happened in Abia State. There are things that have made me not to take all those records I see very serious. Because I have personally made inroad to question some of the things that have been done in my state. That does not mean that my governor is not doing well in the area of infrastructure. I have commended him very well. Those areas he is doing very well in infrastructure, I've commended him. But there are things that must have to be done and done properly. You remember that about 5,000 ghost workers were found. The governor himself announced it. And we said, yes, 5,000 ghost workers collecting salaries in Abia State without working. That's a heinous crime. That's a horrible crime. Billions were being paid to them according to the state government. And we said, ghost workers in Abia State ought to be paid through a bank account. Let us have the bank accounts. Publish them so that we can make a mockery first and foremost, of those whose names are there. Nobody can open an account without ID. You can't even open an account now without what is called the name number. There must be guarantors for the account you open. There must be references for the account you open. These 5,000 ghost workers, how are they being paid? Were they being paid cash? I see. Let us find out that we have an honest disposition of a government that will give us proper information. That is why some of us are very skeptical about the 107 billion that has gone to the press for press prosecution. We are told that we have cleared 9 years arrears of pensions in Nigeria. Only for us to find out that only 40% were being paid for them for the past 9 months. That what they were paying off now is 60%, the balance of what they owed for the 9 months they were in government. I was in shock. I couldn't believe my ears when I heard that. Then I tried to find out from government officials. I was very impressed when the Commissioner of Finance came to your station, Mr. C. I still have the record of what he said. And I've interacted with some of his officers. What the state government paid was the balance of the 9 months they owed, not the announcement of 9 years of arrears. It is very disturbing when I have this level of inconsistency from government.
It doesn't matter, your take, that this was in consonance with the NUP, the executives?
Mr. C, tell us the truth. The truth is that you have paid the balance of what you owe, and that the NUC have arranged with you to maybe forgive the balance. That is understandable. Don't tell us you have paid 9 years arrears. It is wrong. You give a wrong impression. You give a wrong note. You give a confusing arrangement. You deceive the people, if I use the proper language. Let me give you another one that disturbed me, Mr. C. You remember the 1.5 billion that was put in the budget for 2 Hilux pickup vehicles? Mr. C, this 1.5 billion passed through all the levels of budgeting. Proposition, to going to the House, to setting up committees, to coming back to the governor for assent. And then we are told it was a typographical error. A typographical error that passed through the process of proposition to signing into law.
Well, the governor did say it was an Excel malfunction.
A typographical error, that's what it means. And we are saying, at what point did it start? What I did, Mr. C, I'm a forensic investigator. That is why I'm even concerned about when government said they did forensic investigation of our accounts. You cannot do a forensic investigation according to our standard operating procedure without ensuring the records of the auditor and the auditee are in consonance with each other. You can't just make one audit and then announce it as forensic. No. If you're accusing somebody, the record of the accuser must be in consonance with your own record, because before it becomes forensic. I'm a fellow of that institute, a chartered institute of forensic investigation. So I understand it extremely very well. You must have to give us records the way they are so that we can hold government to proper account. Let me give you information why this is very important. If you are doing a very good job, Mr. C, and suddenly you start mixing the good job you are doing with some lies, when those lies come out, you lose pathos. You lose the sympathy of the people. You lose the love the people have for you. That is why I'm concerned about this government. They are doing very well. Doing marvelously very well in the area of infrastructure. And the people love them. Abians today, I can tell you, without any equivocation, they love the job Electricity is doing, the government of Electricity. We should not add that job, beautiful job they are doing, with falsehood. Look at Lokbanta. Look at Lokbanta, Mr. C. I did a personal investigation of Lokbanta. 50 beheaded bodies, 20 decaying bodies, so many bones. I sent in people into Lokbanta to find out. We were told that there was gun running in the place, prostitution, which I know may be true, and the place was to be closed down. what happened, Mr. C. Look at the issue of local government funds. I was a Secretary General, so I'm very passionate about it. Local government funds, the governor told us in very clear terms that the government will not touch any local government funds. You see, if you do anything to the contrary, the people like us who have discerning spirit, we must make good judgment. So I'm not concerned. I have no affinity. I have no sympathy for 107 billion until I see the facts. If I don't see the facts and investigate the facts, I cannot hold anybody culpable, especially now the government that you have accused have come out to tell you, show us the records. The government says we never paid no 10 billion to any contractor for airports. That's what the government is, the government is saying. So leave the United States of America, come back to Abia, let us see the records. Let us see the company that was paid this money. Let us see the bank the money was paid into. Let us see who received the money. Then we should be able to take very strong steps. 107 billion when salaries could not be paid, pensioners were dying, infrastructure was dying, 107 billion. It's a serious matter, Mr. C. It's a serious matter for Abia. So for us to be able to look into it, we must have to have facts. And if those facts are not verifiable, I will treat it as fraudulent as I have treated the other ones.
Okay, so for emphasis, I mean, before we get to the phone lines now, if you're going to address the governor on these allegations in a line or two, what would it be?
Well, for emphasis, Mr. C, whenever you introduce me properly as a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Forensic and Fraud Investigators of Nigeria. That is my position. That position exposes me to the tools that can be used for proper investigation. It exposes me to having capacity to look into matters and looking at it critically and making sure that innocent man is not hurt. When you accuse anybody falsely, you provoke the conscience of people like me. But when you accuse people properly with facts, you don't have the sympathy of people like me to take part in ensuring that justice is done. Let me just quickly add, Mr. C. Not too long ago, when I was one of the critics of TLG, there was a very big information that came that his son Chinedu, who is popularly called Ikuku, his son and himself, that they have 300 bank accounts and they have 800 billion in that bank account. I was approached by so many people who wanted me to take it up in open parliament. And I said I would never do that until I had the facts. The information they gave me, I only looked into two of them. They were false. The whole bulk of information that was given to me, the first two ones I looked at were false. And I refused to go and insult or maybe bring false accusation against the ALG. Let us have our facts clear. We're not saying anybody have not done anything wrong, but let us put our facts clear so that justice, our God that we worship, is a God of justice. Let us not be unjust people. We must adhere to the cause of justice. That is why even sometimes, Mr. C, when I have small sympathy for Bello Yahaya, I tend to say, see, whatever goes round comes round. You look at Yahaya Bello that was intimidating everybody. Yahaya Bello that was causing all kinds of mayhem. Anybody who comes across his way as a governor, he will finish him up. He's now the one running away. He's on the run. Let us do what is right every time so that providence can justify our actions.
0816-111-5955 or 0907-103-6625. These are the numbers to call. 1 minute if you come through. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. C.
Good morning to you.
Good morning, Sir Chikwe Udensi.
Good morning, sir.
Obrigado, Mr.
Obrigado.
Who say man notice calling from mine.
Welcome.
I cannot fail to thank Sir Chikwe Udensi for his boldness. I call Mr. APT for his justice, for his standing on the justice that I think must have to be done in Abia State and in Nigeria entirely. I still want to thank him again for the man that spoke on his behalf, the Ambassador Chikwe Udensi. He has done his best to tell Abia. All we are saying is for the betterment of Abia State, irrespective of who's all the viewers. And whenever we talk about he that comes to equity must come with a clean hand. The issue of Kogi, which he analyzed, most times I keep saying that we are, Mr. C, you're a lawyer. We are not supposed to kill somebody based on allegation until court of competent jurisdiction is convicted the person of the allegation leveled against him. But our problem here in this Nigeria and in this state in particular, when they say that somebody stole this, before you know it, the media. And the issue of media trial in Abia State is getting out of hand. We are here. Dr. Udensi was saying that it was 5,000 workers. There are more than 5,000 workers. Up to today, I was among the people that asked them to publish the names and account numbers.
Thank you. Thank you.
Things have been going wrong in this state, which the government of the state. How can you go to?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Your 1 minute is up. Don't forget 1 minute you have to react to what you've been hearing. Hello, good morning. We'll have another caller.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, which I'm calling you from Omaya. Good morning, Sir Chikwe Udensi.
Good morning, sir.
I must commend you for always standing on the truth. You've said it all. Media trial is bad, is condemnable. In fact, the problem we have in EFCC, they don't investigate before arresting. So we need to do the proper thing. That somebody did something wrong in the past does not mean that you that have come to change things will follow that line. So the government of Abia State should do the right thing at all times. Look at what is happening in Abia State House of Assembly. That is not the good example you want to bring to the table. So honestly, by now we should be talking about the one day.
Hello. Well, I think we lost the caller. The call there. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. C.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, my regards to your guest. Well spoken. But the thing is, there are aspects I would want to differ a little.
Go ahead.
Because our people have a proverb that if somebody is beaten by a snake, when you see an earthworm, you will even be running away. Without justifying anything, I know on several occasions, the spokesperson of the government have appeared. For instance, when they said that the immediate past government was using lands and whatever department money to pay for their secretariat. It came out it was just a hoax, but it turned out to be true. And nobody has challenged that, and I think they would have proceeded to court. A lot of things went wrong, both real and imagined ones, that are yet to be proved. So I think the best thing we should do is that we would have taken to the court. But I can understand the fear of the current government because court process here does not really help much. Like your guest quite pointed out now, in 3 cases, just to get somebody arrested now, it's taking, a whole lot of time, will cost an arm and a leg, a judge will call another, just to call this person, come, let's talk about the processes that will take years and years before, the administration goes to. I understand all these things. Again, the idea of whether, this man was invited to US for a talk and all that. He had the opportunity to show something. He had an evidence of what to even start with, make that thing even more, elaborate. So whether he said it there or here, anything, I'm not too much against that. Is it true or not? It's not about where he said it. And let us also follow the process to do the needful. Go to court, go to police, get these people arrested, get to the contractors, and let's know whether actually our monies were treated away or we are just making good whatever.
Thank you.
So I think it is from where we are coming from that we are beginning to see.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Eric. Time is almost up. Well, let's get back to you for a reaction of what the callers have said and probably a summary.
Mr. C, you have always done my position. I have never believed or ever encouraged whatever Ikpeazu did. I have always been a critic of how Ikpeazu ran his government. I've always been a critic of how the government from 1999 to 2003 was being run. I was a critic of it. I criticized it. I came out to see how I can contribute to make sure that things are better. But let me give you information very clearly. We cannot do what is wrong. We must always do what is right so that confidence will justify us. We must do what is right. What we are doing today in the area of trying to accuse people